Well, this is what comes of being late. As usual, we get here, and everybody else is already being instructed as to what to do, and we're the last ones to find out. But we're not actually leaving the Ginosar campus because while everybody's dropping their stuff off at the bus, we are going to this museum that's also on the campus to see a historical exhibit that you and I saw back in 2018 that had just been uncovered at the time. The museum is right on the shores of the lake, which stands to reason considering what the exhibit is. As pretty as the view is, it is redolent of dead fish at the moment. Daniel is not enjoying this. Hopefully once we get inside it won't be so bad. So this is the exhibit. This was just discovered in the early 2000s by a pair of brothers after a drought on the Sea of Galilee. And after covering this thing in polyurethane so that it wouldn't disintegrate as it was being exposed to air and oxygenated, the Department of Antiquities managed to get it out of the lake and into this display. This boat actually dates from somewhere between 50 BC and 70 AD. Now, there's obviously no guarantee that Jesus rode in this particular boat, but it is a similar example to one that he would have been in and would have preached from, would have slept in during a storm. It's the real thing. They've managed to identify 12 different types of wood that make up this boat, which 12 being significant in Jewish numerology seems quite appropriate. And again, it's astonishing how much still is being found to this day that verifies what life was like back in the time of Christ. And while this isn't something that he necessarily touched or rode in specifically, the fact that it's here is impressive in and of itself. Now, normally I wouldn't take a picture of the souvenir gift shop, but Daniel's busy buying a shofar bag, so there's that. Scott's joking about how they're selling some of the wood that fell off when they were trying to restore the boat, which, if they're still doing that 14 years later, they've probably sold the boat 4 or 5 times by now, like the ship of Theseus. I will say that boat doesn't look big enough for 12 people to sit in, but I've been told that people were smaller in those days, but I can't imagine that they were that much smaller. And I definitely can't imagine anybody getting comfortable enough to fall asleep in it, or to stretch out so that they could. But Jesus being God, he's all powerful. He can sleep when and where he wants to, I suppose. So anyway, despite not having the time to wander around the grounds, and not as much inclination today since it's raining, we managed to get around a little bit more than we were yesterday before we can head off to our next stop. So until then, keep an eye on us and wish us luck. We'll need it.